I don't know why it suddenly got super loud for me. Did it do that to y'all too? It must be when they shut us off or something.
I don't know. I'd like to think that we should be in and out, maybe.
All right, I didn't know.
So hopefully we should. I'm showing green. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
People...
Maybe it just stopped for John's country.
No,
maybe.
no. It was definitely down. I had to start streaming. I stopped it. And
Oh, I
restarted.
got you. Okay, that's fine. Oh well, like I said, I knew it was going to probably happen.
I didn't figure they'd
I didn't know they
kill
would
it.
take it down live. I just figured
Right.
they'd block it later.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's ever happened to us, has it?
Yeah, right now they have us marked to stream live 62 minutes ago. We're not started yet. I told everybody in the chat to take this moment of silence to wish Liz a happy birthday.
Absolutely.
Anniversary of her birth.
Yeah, I can say the new one.
When it happened.
All right.
Another one. Okay. Should I tell people it's somewhere else?
No.
Yeah,
I see Robert Page is here. I don't know if it's somewhere else or not. I see the same chat, so Restream filters it all through for me. So if we're not in the same link where it was, which I assume it probably isn't, then
Let me try refreshing.
It's like DLive is still up.
Uh-huh.
oh,
oh well. I thought.
I kicked myself out of the other chat when I went out of it. So
Well, see,
yeah,
that's
there
what
is
I
a second one.
accidentally did because
If anybody's there, tell them where to go.
it immediately started playing the next
Uh-huh.
video right here, and so I'm trying to shut that down, and I closed our stream by my I closed us.
I just did it
That's
too.
why I didn't know we went off the air because I wasn't even in the chat anymore.
Yeah, but it won't let me back in the chat because I closed out a chat. So somebody in there. Does anybody have a chat open? Can you tell them we're open somewhere else?
I'm working on it.
Well, as I said, I hope everybody else laughed their ass off like I did watching that shit. It was great. Whoever did that is right on top of things.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like the flat Earth reference.
Our pick a reference, simulation theory, getting out of here and finding the creator out beyond the firmament. I mean, dude, pick something. They show you a piece of it. Reset, the fucking reset with the flood, that was too much. I died when that happened.
Yeah, I don't smoke weed anymore, but that's something I totally would have loved to smoke some herb and watch that just trip out.
And look,
Yeah,
I
if
was
you
about to
quit
come
smoking
back
pot,
and say
ugh.
that the God figure so much reminds me of Baldini. Every time I watch it, I laugh and think about Baldini. Look, and he's saying, it's my fault. What did I do?
I can't get back to the old chat. All I have is the new chat, so I can't tell anybody.
Oh,
anywhere
yeah, I'm not in there anymore either because I closed it. So they'll figure it out.
Are you ready for over here? What's going on over here is just Jack is over here, and he has bad gout, so he's on crutches. And he just crawled across the floor to get to the keyboard to type under Bob's account because Bob's not upstairs, to let people know to look elsewhere. But they made a really good effort at my house to send people. There was really good effort on Jack.
And I just can't be asked to lean over and type on my keyboard.
The guy up the road had gout, and I did some research for him and found out cherries.
Say it again. They want a link.
Enlightened Dawn posted a link.
Oh, okay. Enlightened, but Don posted a link over. So nice.
Thanks, Don. Love you. Appreciate it.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jack. I hope you feel better.
So
Get my text.
All right.
Tell Jack to get a bunch of cherries. Eat cherries. Good for gout. Cherries.
there was something else growing up that I heard about, but I can't remember what it was.
How many
To help me
cherries,
out.
John?
Just a few a day,
Just a few a day?
apparently.
Good to know. I guess.
Well, if you ever get gout.
Yeah.
I've never had gout. But
Nor I. Sure, I'd
What's
know it if
that?
I had it.
Love
He
cherries.
does it a lot.
Beautiful.
I just don't eat fruit. Don't crave it. I have to force myself. But I should.
Yeah, cherries are good. Cherries were always an expensive fruit, though. Only for special occasions.
I've got a cherry tree in the front garden, but it doesn't make cherries. It's an ornamental cherry tree. What kin use is that?
It's pretty. It'll go with the houses on the hill, within the forest.
Some people decorate with cherries, so you could probably make a bundle off of ornamental cherries.
Or you can go and find a tree that actually produces and
Yeah.
cut a branch off and splice it into that ornamental and it'll grow cherries.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do is to, what do they call it when you, grafting.
Yeah, grafting. That's it.
Yeah. But it's the kids' playhouse anyway and climbing frame at the moment, so, and it's holding up my HF antenna, so it'll stay.
Or you could con somebody out of their cherry tree and splice one to the cherry tree you've got. It could be grafted and grifted. Do a little science experiment and see which grows faster.
All these possibilities. Either way, if you got gout, eat cherries, apparently. I've got a plum tree that makes plums, but it grows like a frickin' tripid and needs cutting every 5 seconds.
Jack's on the floor typing. He says, black cherries are supposed to help for gout. Been drinking lots of lemon water and turmeric, depending on your emphasis of the syllables.
Yeah, good stuff. Apple cider vinegar as well, apparently.
I love trees. Trees I learned trees taught me to trust, and it's just a cool thing. And I was in some public land down by the river, and I wanted to get in there and move stuff and trim it up and whatever, get the dead stuff out. And I was like, hang on. They've been at this longer than you. They'll be fine. Let the trees be the trees. And sometimes I have to catch myself because I'll be climbing up a tree backwards and I'll start moving stuff out of my way. And then I'm like, oh, sorry. And I love trees.
Trees are amazing. I swear Zach has clued me in onto the consciousness of plants. I've heard it said, but it never really dawned on me how reactive they were. Just how conscious they actually were. How it's a reality. It's not just words that people say, but to see them move and react and thrive.
Get your attention. There was a tree in a backyard where I was staying, and there was a rose vine that was strangling it, and I walked under it, and it grabbed me, just gently, and I kind of just moved away. And again, like the third time, I said, "Okay, what can I do for you?" And I saw the strangler, and it was dead at the bottom anyway, so I freed the tree, and it was awesome. I mean, the tree asked me for help, and I heard it, and
That's awesome.
And I remember that I'm right there with the moment the wind got my attention, when nature and I found each other again, when I listened. And since then, it's not too much fun. There's no such thing as too much fun, or too much of a good thing, or too much kindness. No, you're not too kind. No, there's no such thing as too kind.
No, there's never too much kindness.
Too much of a good thing is not. There's never too much of a good thing. Because we need as much of the good thing to balance out the other stuff over here. The cup. Mm-hmm. Rocks or conscious. I remember a little boy, same house I was staying next door. There was a kids befriend me because I befriend them because I listen to them and believe them, and they're awesome. And he asked me if rocks were alive, and I said yes, and they were cool with that. you know, and yeah, the rock thing.
You definitely found the right crew here, lady. Look, I'm holding a rock that I picked up. It's got like so much personality. It's got weird, like it looks like gum. There's crystals inside it. I've never seen anything like it. I found that in Oregon, walking one day with
I
Forrest
have
Gump.
crates of rocks.
And then the
that-
tree
that-
thing. I
that-
mean, Zach reminded us, of course, to talk to the trees daily, but that's always been my thing too, is being out there and feeling them and knowing what they were about. I'm gonna send a picture of my buddy down the road. Zach met him. He's got a face. He literally has a face. Let me find a picture. Hang on.
No, the rocks, they're definitely alive. We feel it all the time around us. They do grow. They grow a lot faster. Again, when the conditions are right, they grow all around you. They're growing all the time. They're in creation all of the time. It's not something that happened and stopped. It's something that's continually happening around you. And they are. I don't know if anybody else has had the experience, but when you are walking, me even in a parking lot, things like that, rocks call out and want you to pick them up. They want to be cleaned up. They want to be in your life, really. And what's really funny about this is I was thinking about it while doing a Facebook conversation about rocks in Hawaii, and I'm a regular person in Hawaii, and that is the one place that when I've been there, the rocks really like it there. They don't want to leave. So they were talking about people that have like taken rocks home with them, and years later just felt terrible. And how many people every year send rocks back to Hawaii? And it's this unreal phenomenon that happens. Again, you put them in your case, you do this, and then you just sit there and feel bad about it. But I think it is funny that why I always pick up rocks everywhere I go and polish them up and clean them up. And that Hawaii is one place I've never taken them home with me, because even though they say pick me up and look at them and appreciate me, they always say put me back. I like it here. I don't blame them. I like it there too.
I mean, I have goosebumps underneath layers. A beard standing up. Oh,
Is it just
Got it
me
when I
that
was
doesn't
40.
live on the set of Never Ending Story where rocks and shit talk to you?
They don't talk to you, John. You don't hold them in your hand and feel them, or you don't feel the energy at all, really.
Not that I've been aware of, but I don't get out much. So
but you will now, I bet you.
I'll put it down to that.
We've been at this dude for so long,
There's
guys.
faces in it. All kinds of guys will be in there.
John,
The key is you really do need to get out, but you need to get out. You need to go out to the rivers, the places where it's happening. So, like, you're right. If you're inside around all your plastics and molded stuff, you're not going to feel it.
I'm grounded until further notice.
well, John, you have to realize that the rocks aren't going to talk to you the way that you talk to them. So not only do you have to go out, but you have to kind of listen. You have to get to know rocks. You have to be around rocks. And as a youth, I was just around these dry creek beds, just surrounded by rocks. And when Cammie said it, it really resonated with me, was the rocks speaking to you. And it's not like they're talking with vocal cords, right? So your ears are going to pick up what they're saying so you can spin around and hear what the rock just said. But they're going to communicate in such a way with you. It's almost like a dissonance, resonance type of situation. You'll be able to feel the rocks that are meant for you, the rocks that know you. They'll
But it's
tell
like
you.
walking along a beach, isn't it? And you spot a pebble from 20 feet away, and you just like it's calling out to you to pick you up.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And it doesn't want you to pick you up. It wants you to, it is calling out to you. It's listening to that. And when you pick it up, it feels really good.
Saying, take me to Hawaii. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it probably is. They probably are. When you go to Hawaii, can we hitch a ride?
It's too damn cold here.
It's cold here in Colorado. I know. I'm cutting brownies here if anybody would like
Yes,
some.
please. I would very much.
I think every one of us is doing something we shouldn't be doing.
Nope, I'm here.
We're king
I
of.
will admit, John, that I'm checking up on things in our emails just to make sure we aren't having really serious issues for my stupidity. And basically, it's a strange note. It says the stream is interrupted for content, blah, blah, blah. The stream will be automatically re-enabled after copyright material is no longer being streamed. So apparently, if I'd have just stopped it and we'd have waited a second, it would let us continue on with that same stream. So we'll know that going forward when we decide to get
Next time we play somebody's shit that we
right.
Oh,
Next
no,
time we give them the
like-
finger, we'll be ready to hold our ground.
It's like SpaceX or whatever, isn't it? We learned from that disaster.
Right. We burned this one to the ground. Now let's see what we're gonna do next time.
So there's something here.
Well, at
that-
least we'll have the separate of the good thing we're gonna do here from the good stuff we did there. I mean, it'll be 2 good shows, but at least it won't all get taken down.
What
The
you got
mask.
there, Alison? That looks like a bone.
I do have some that look like bones. Shoe.
Shoe.
Go watch Roger's channel. It could be.
I do, and
Roger,
I
that's my
know I have
boy.
some that are bones. They have to be. I mean, what else could they be? And oh yeah, and it's not just the pair or whatever. Guys are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Guys are everywhere. And did I share the synchronicity with dates around where I am here in this location?
I don't. Yeah, maybe you did on the.
I shared birthdays, and then a birthday without a 0, 11:30 and 11:30. The owner of this establishment and the boy I fell in love with in '88, and then blah blah blah. The boyfriend in North Carolina at 11:30. Well, my daughter's birthday is 2/4, and Mark Campbell's birthday, his son's birthday, is 2/4, and I've forgotten about it.
Synchronicity.
No shit. And I like feeling like I'm in the right place. Because when I don't feel like I'm in the right place, it sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like everything's off.
Well, Liz's birthday is today, so I know I'm in the right place, and it feels good because I'm with Liz, and I like that. I like Liz. For people, for a fun nut going on, I am going to be looking and ordering that out pieces for people that have played with the Polaroid filters with me and the crystals and light and the spectrum. I have Austin Whitsitt and Nathan Thompson's attention on this, and they want me to, in the Meriscope and the holograms and the UV lights, they want me to order them up a kit. So while they're going across the country, they actually want to do live demos on this because, again, this is something that you can watch it in video, but it's nothing like touching it and getting to do it and being part of the experiment. So they're going to make it happen for a lot of people, I'm hoping. We're going to put together some orders, and hopefully by the time they get to Rose's, I'm going to send pieces there for them to pick up. And so...
Have we had Nathan Thompson on here?
We have.
You have.
It's been a long time, unfortunately, but we
And
definitely
we
have.
haven't had Austin, though, have we?
We've not.
You
No.
have not. I could probably go to my garage and make them get on if you guys would like them on.
Well,
They're hanging in my garage.
I'd hate to spring it on them, especially since I know we've got this great conversation ready
We
to be
have
had. We got poor
something
Alex
planned,
just sitting
sorta,
here waiting.
But
He did pass through a dead zone and wasn't able to hear on Zoom. I saw he was in chat there a little bit ago. So I hate to just invite him on.
Oh,
and-
they said that they would love it. You said they would love it. Just Jack says. Oh, Jack is volunteering them. I like it as he's. We've got the group here going.
Hear that?
Well, before we get too many folks on here, then let's jump back into the story that Allison was telling us. Naturally, my dog is going nuts. Anyway, about some of the experiences she had. She said she had printed off her governor's order and then gone through and specifically highlighted the parts that had pertained to her. And she said she had the adrenaline rush, the lips were numb, the face was hot. She was just, the whole fight or flight instincts were kicking in, but she stood her ground, right? And that's the definition of courage. Feeling that fear and saying, you know what? The answer is still no. As scared as I am, as comfortable as this situation makes me, the answer is still no. So I applaud you, Allison. I think that is absolutely amazing. I am super proud of you. I think that takes such courage and strength to be able to stand up and look at those people and tell them, no thanks. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it your way. and I really
It's like-
appreciate that.
It's like the first time you stand up to your dad or your mum as a teenager or something and go, no, I am not doing that. And you just test and bluff I did it. Well, my son did it to me the other day, but you could tell by the tone of my voice he was going to do it. But he tried.
And even
So-
trying, there's that pride I'm sure that you felt inside of
I
you know,
did.
F you, kid, but I love you for trying.
Whilst throttling him.
Right.
But yeah,
You just see John, the big Homer Simpson grip around his neck.
Why you little?
You little.
I'm so proud of you, you little bastard. Yeah.
That's good
I
stuff.
Rose might have been live streaming that night. I don't know. I called the first time I ever called in to one of y'all somewhere over there. Was I do believe that night that happened, and that was a lot of fun. And I had copies of the mayor's deal, and wow, I'm right there right now doing it.
That's all right, but remember, you're among friends here. There's absolutely
yeah,
zero
yeah.
pressure.
But can you hear that out there?
Not really well. nope.
Okay. Holler if you do. Mute me if you do. There.
Yeah, it's not messing with your audio.
Nope,
or
you're good.
distracting.
Okay, good. Messing with my audio. Yeah, just another place I need to stand up to is you know. But anyway, I felt armed, with the information, and I had proof right there, and I didn't want to be, I'm not a bitch. I'm a nice girl, I swear. So, and I know I can be if I let her out to play every once in a while. But in reading the stuff that I got off Peggy's website, The Healthy American, there's a lot more to it. You cannot get in trouble. It says right there, you cannot get in trouble. We cannot hurt you or put you in a cage for not wearing a mask. That's not allowed. And that's empowering. And it was, when this all happened, there was a guy, you know how they do with the arrow, the guy on the side of the road with his, doing his acrobats with his sign to get you to go buy the rest of whatever store it is. He was out there by himself in the summer with a mask on, and I was like, dude, you don't need to wear that now. You don't. It says right here, black and white. It's written down. It's on paper, so it must be true. It's on paper. It's that's the business part, but and I think the stacks of paper that John was that one of y'all stacks of paper, but good paper. The best paper that we can make if we even have to. Handwrite them. It's important. We don't need this.
Oh, would that be great? Handing them the handwritten version. Oh my God, that's epic.
It has you on it. It's not some. For this piece of paper to be here for you to look at, how much energy went into that? How much power went into this?
Mm-hmm. Some, but not a whole lot. Not like
paper,
a handwritten.
Well, the paper itself, the moving of the paper, the making the paper, the tree that had to grow, or whatever they're making that out of. It's just it's for us to have all this stuff around. Where's the love? The other morning when I heard the first car at 4:30 in the morning here on the highway, and I was like, because I want a mule or somebody, a friend to hang out with, and or a donkey. But and I was like, what? The car that went from to just that guy to go from there to there and mess up my piece back here because how much slave labor went into it, and then that's ridiculous, and there's no love and stuff, and well, maybe the sticker because Baldini sent it to me, but does this look like a kidney?
It does a little bit. for sure. Like a giant kidney.
And I hear they're like up your back now. Some weird. I don't know. I don't think mine is.
Porous? Does it have like a porous quality to it? Just wondering. Does it have like a porousness, like holes?
It does. I could get it wet.
I heard they're really good eating. Kidneys. You just got to cook them right.
Yeah, you'd be cooking that one a while.
You just got to put it in a pot of water and boil the piss out of
Rock soup. Well, I remember that store. Stone.
Yeah, stone soup.
That sounds horrible.
Stone soup or kidney soup.
Both.
Didn't they have kidney
both.
pies where you're from?
Not my part of the world. I think that's more John. That's you guys, right, John? Or a steak and kidney pie.
What's that? Kidney. Oh, steak and kidney. Yeah, we don't eat it.
I don't eat.
Well, you can't
I don't
even
eat
buy it.
dead animal at the best of times, let alone kidney.
Very good for you. All
Wait,
off-
show that section of the rock again, Allison. I couldn't see it on the
This one?
small. Yeah. Oh
Or this
wow.
Or this one?
Got a hole. No, the one with the hole. That's crazy.
I've got a lot with holes in them.
Supposed to be good luck. Old wives' tale, I've always heard. In the Ozarks.
Somewhere I've got a rock that has a hole. Inside the hole, there is a little screw that is completely petrified, and I've lost it. Not lost it, but I know it's in my little sandstone thing that I put on a shelf somewhere. And now I've covered it with something in the book or whatever. I can't find it, but I will find it somewhere in this room.
Hey, Walt, just so you know, too, I have people in the house telling me that Allison is a little bit hard to hear on the video, a little bit lower than everyone.
Okay.
Oh, so I should speak up a little louder?
That or maybe
I was being too timid?
maybe a
No,
little
it's
closer to the mic.
Possibly just not sure.
It might
Too
just be
much
the
stuff.
mic placement, I
The
think.
mic on the computer
yeah,
versus the one you had on the phone, possibly.
I think is the difference.
Just different audio quality.
Okay, where is the mic on this thing? Hello.
I don't even know, and it depends from computer.
I just talk a little louder. There's a hole all the way through this one. It's what? Yeah.
That's probably a body part of some sort.
And I want to know what some of the body parts are because they look familiar. You know, I had an anatomy coloring book in massage therapy school, Yurt in the Woods in North Carolina. It was great. And this feels like it's like silly putty. It's a silly putty.
That's crazy because this rock I found actually resembles gum, the way it's smushed, and there's actually what appears to be almost a tooth imprint in it right there. And then there's a little weird section here that if I catch the light just right, if I can, probably not, I have to get it wet, but it's got like crystalline structure inside it. And it looks very like smushed and like it got smushed like a piece of gum or silly putty and then formed into this rock. It's crazy. I've never seen a rock formed like this. And it was just
like
there.
giants chewing gum.
Right.
Right. It's well, there's like a piece of gum that got spit out. It's crazy.
But it would be from a gum tree, a tree not made in a factory. Maybe that was all it'd be real gum.
Big league chew.
I have to get a brighter light to be able to see the crystalline parts of it, though. Let me see if I can make my phone work. Hang on.
Roger would call this a no toes, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Where's my battery?
Cami, what was that article you sent me? Talk about that a bit.
That I haven't had a chance to read yet, but I sent it to me, the headline, and I sent it to you as a marker for me to read, and I can tell you what I would think about it because it did catch my eye. It was, they were going back and saying that at the creation, when diamonds were forming, that they were hit with a spark of electricity. And why I don't roll this out on this, again, maybe I haven't talked to the people that do the synthesizing of diamonds and asked about the electrical component of it because back in the day when I was really into that, I wasn't so much into the electrical spectrum as I am now, but they're saying that electricity may have been present or it may have been zapped, and I don't rule that out just on how culminated and perfect the lattice structure of diamonds is.
But
So my
Cammy,
thought says how perfect the lattice structure is. Well, Cammy, what?
Cammy, what about? I mean, the piezoelectric stuff we're talking about is crystals being put under pressure and giving off electricity. Yeah.
Correct.
That's how your lighters
So,
particles.
Yeah.
Or how lots of lighters.
Wouldn't that fall in line with a crystal or a diamond or whatever?
Well, they're saying that like what was formed, it was given a little zap. So they're saying more. So if you look at, for instance, lodestone. Lodestone is just magnetite that's had a electricity run through it, and it turns it into a magnetic. It turns it into a natural magnet, a permanent magnet by running the electricity through. We know that when you run the electricity through it, what it's doing is it's culminating the lattice structure on it and lining it up, which polarizes it, gives it its poles in that. And it's doing it in such a strong way that you're creating a magnet. Now, with the diamond, diamonds are not magnetic; they're a different material in that, but they really also they have an extraordinarily well organized lattice structure. And so, was that with a little help from electricity? I don't know, and I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting read to go into because I really don't know. It was a new way of thinking of it. I never thought that what was growing it could have been exposed to, but I do know that some stones are again exposed to electricity, and it has a huge impact on them.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
makes sense.
Yeah,
I think what I'm saying is maybe the crystal itself created the electricity, like piezo crystals do.
like the piezo. Well, it won't work
Interesting
with
thought.
diamonds because in order for the piezo to work, think of a hexagram and think of how you're changing the alignment by putting like a point on each side of a hexagram and squeezing it to change your balance point to create the electricity, the two boundaries. So do you see that visual, or am I creating that well enough?
Yeah.
Okay, that's because quartz, that's piezoelectricity, that's the setup, or that's a rough, a very, very basic organization of the lattice structure. Diamond is the cubic structure, so imagine doing that with four. No matter how you squish it or do it, you can't change the alignment of the diamond to get that spark.
Okay, I got you.
So it only works in certain lattice structures, and diamond has a cubic structure, and a cubic structure is not one that it could possibly work with.
But a question that keeps running through my mind, or not a question, I guess, but more an image that puts this into kind of a question, is those images of the guys doing the burns with like a generator from a microwave oven or something of wood, and the electricity is traveling through it and just traveling out like a river, and then looking down from a plane and seeing that very same thing on the earth itself and thinking, hey, that's the fucking shit I saw in the wood, and that's electrical outsprays of stuff. That's not.
Well, it's the same concept, electricity and water,
fractal
for the
nature,
reason I think
less than the cubicness.
it's taking the path of least resistance until it runs out of energy. I think
Is that what's going on? Maybe
yeah,
that's it.
and I think
the
because
crystal
that's
itself is the structure, so it forms that way. I don't know. I'm trying to work it too. I'm trying to figure it out. Because I mean, when I see a big funk of crystals like this, that's just totally erratic and crazy, and and when you think the caves and they're all every direction crystals, but diamonds maybe because they're more dense, or I don't know.
Diamonds have a rarity factor. They have a very, very tight lattice structure that makes them very, very hard. They have perfect cleavage. They have a lot of different elements to it that make us like them a lot, the way they conduct electricity and that. But it has to do with the very, very, very organized lattice structure on it, exactly how organized and tight and compact it is. If you think of Tinker Toys and building it,
so is the
with charges
already in place for the electricity to
the lattice structure, different elements grow in different, they grow in different platonic solids. They take on different structures as they're growing. That's part of and you look at it and you would almost think, and I'm going to call it like a charge arrangement. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you look at it. You can tell how something has grown, for instance, by how you can cut it. If on the layers on it, you can see where the planes are, where you can't cut into it, how it handles the optics. there's so many different properties about it that you can test that way. And
But I'm right in thinking that diamonds aren't rare at all, though, are they?
That was Edward Bernays
I
made diamonds be a girl best friend. Edward Bernays and Hollywood.
Yeah,
So
like
they-
on the
they-
Ivory Coast or whatever, or around that sort of region there.
It's a
there's
created
whole
rarity.
countries that are owned by
it's
or
De
whatever.
Beers
that-
has cornered the market, and they just keep them all in isolation and only release a few at a time.
That's actually not very true. The stockpiles aren't that far beyond it. When you get to it, no matter how you get to it, in order to get to 1 carat of gem material, and not a 1 carat stone, but a 1 carat of rough that you would cut down, you move over you would cut down to like a 30 or 40 pointer, like a small stone, you would have to move over 4 tons of earth, even under really good conditions. So again, no matter, there is they say that there's not really a rarity to it, but that's not true. Otherwise, everybody would, be out looking for them. There's a lot of work that you have to get to, a lot of raping the ground, a lot of.
Well, I've heard in places in Africa, like along the Ivory Coast or thereabouts, that they're literally diamonds, or not cut diamonds or whatever, rough diamonds, littering the ground everywhere, along with the landmines that the locals know you don't go anywhere near them, because they'll blow you up. But they're literally, football-sized uncut diamonds strewn across these African plains. I don't know.
Well, that's a rumor, and for a football size, somebody is going to, like in the movies, come up with a spy way to get around the mines and the landfills and everything to get them if they're really football sized. Again, the demand for it, I find that hard to believe. I find that to be more of a story. I do know that the diamond industry is guilty in the past of definitely stockpiling and doing things to manipulate the market, but not entirely to the point that, again, no matter what, you still have to move a lot of earth to generally mine them. And what you're talking about would be an alluvial deposit, again, usually by a riverbed where they're washed over. That's superficial. The alluvial deposits, once they're picked over, it's gone. They're washed down from somewhere else. It's not usually a big or long-lasting deposit.
I don't find it that unbelievable. I mean, I don't know. I'm completely unknowledgeable on this front because, like you say, I haven't been there or anything like that. I just know a friend of mine who's his girlfriend's dad or something was a stamp collector, and he would buy up from Sotheby's or whatever, 1,000 stamps, and he'd burn 999 of them, knowing full well that he's just made that one stamp unbelievably expensive. So it's a case of scarcity, and if you can segregate an entire country, which is easily doable in Africa, 200 years ago or whatever, or Rhodesia or whatever, owned by Rhodes. Yeah, I don't know. I've read a bit about it and it sounded plausible, but yeah, I'm not convinced that they're as rare as we're told. Like you say, Bernays made it a diamond. It's a girl's best friend, just like bacon and eggs and everything else. And yeah, I don't know. More research needed on my part, I think.
I'm actually doing a bit of live research because I had dabbled in this years ago too with a girlfriend who I was always arguing with about the value of diamonds with. And I remembered some of these things too that you're talking about. So I just kind of went digging a bit and found this from the gem.org. It is an article I've shared with everyone in chat, and I'll share it with you guys here in the show. Quote, diamonds are the hardest material on earth. There was scratching, blah, 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 blah. All general quality materials are rare. They compose just a tiny fraction of the earth. However, diamonds actually number among the most common gems. Ask yourself this. How many people do you know who own at least one diamond? Now ask this question about other gems like rubies, sapphires, and emeralds, which in this article talks about those were at one point the most rare and valuable gem, quality gems, blah, blah, blah. Read the article. It's pretty cool. It even goes into the myth of diamonds being the most valuable gem in that apparently alexandrite is the most valuable.
Nobody in the industry thinks that diamonds are the most expensive or the most collector item.
Well, this is just
and
the
they do
best
go out to
that
it.
they're
Again,
bursting one at
they're
a
mass
time.
marketed to a group of people. One of the things I find interesting is people's understanding of diamond being the hardest substance and how many diamonds have been broken over time because people have tested their diamond with a hammer. When
Right?
people,
Yeah, I know
Mhm.
somebody did that stupid shit.
A lot of people do that stupid shit, by the way. A lot of people do. I've seen a lot of chip diamonds on it. When you're told that diamond is the hardest material, it has nothing to do with how easy you can break it. Diamond has something called perfect cleavage, so it has perfect cleavage planes like a tree. You hit it along it, it's going to crack and split. Think of like the guy cutting the diamond in the back seat of the old Lincoln cars, if you're old enough for that. On commercials, in other words, you can definitely break it. Hardness only pertains to how hard it is to scratch it, what it takes to scratch the surface, not breakability at all, not durability. It only is an attribute of how hard it is to scratch. So just in case you're wondering, on the hardest, substance in a diamond, or that also people like will pick up buy things out of shops and think that, well, I tested it, it cuts glass, so therefore it has to be a diamond. Glass is very, very, very low on the hardness scale, so almost anything will cut glass right away too. So not only a diamond will. So just fun practical facts.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff I didn't even know here in this little article. It's pretty cool. I dropped it for you guys too, just to go through. Shout out real quick to James, the Oak himself. James is free in chat. He used to hang out with us quite a bit in the early formative years of Iron Realm on Twitter, quite a bit back in the day. Glad to see you, friend.
While we're giving shout outs, can I shout out Winston? And I love you, dear. Wanted to put that out there.
I have a watch that my grandfather gave my grandmother back in the day, and it has two teeny, little diamonds. I think it's the 6 and the 12ish, right? And she said that she was, because that's when diamonds were first marketed to, and she, oh wow, I have diamonds. And then she was just, anyway, that old watch, right? And I remember when I was working, selling, working at Brooks Brothers in the mall, I had to get my watch, right? And then I had to get a necklace, and I'm buying this all myself because, whatever. And $1,200 I paid for this necklace. And I went to try to sell it, or to sell it hard, whatever, $50 or $150 is what the jeweler kind of offered.
Pawn stores.
And
legal robbery.
So it'll, it'll get passed down because, or whatever. It was just, but I had to have one too because, I did.
So, Alex, have you gotten your sound issues worked out? Are you still with us? You're with us at all?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, excellent. Good deal. So I think we kind of helped.
But to me, actually, he's a lot lower in the mix than Allison even currently is. Speak up a little bit for us, sir, so we can test your audio.
Yeah, testing.
You are a little quiet.
Pretty low. All right. Well, since I'm home now, I can switch to my speaker.
Oh, cool. Do what you need to. We're here.
I don't want to just make you. Actually, I think that's quite a bit better.
Okay, cool.
So we had a conversation Wednesday before last, and we'd given Allison some ideas, some pointers, some places to start off, and basically it was kind of get familiar with the local ordinances and the local mandates and the local orders that have been issued, and kind of familiarize yourself there, and from there you can kind of build your case, so to speak. Is that kind of what you did for when you had to start attempting to get into these places and buy food so you don't starve to death without a mask? Is that kind of where you had to do is start with the research?
Well, actually, that's something that I just made in my mind, like from the very beginning, that like I was never gonna wear a mask no matter what. And as the whole thing kind of progressed into more and more people wearing masks, and then more people getting upset about it, that's when I kind of had to adjust my approach to, just tell them, just say, I'm not going to wear a mask and just like walk on. And then, like, just the timing of it was good to where as the whole year passed on, I started like constantly picking up more knowledge about, the legal aspects of it, and then the thing about the terrain theory versus germ theory, just that whole idea. I just started to, since I woke up to flat Earth, that just opened my mind up to everything else, to know that we've been lied to so much that it's really not a big surprise that the whole germ theory is a lie as well. So I just kind of eased into that idea, and it just built my confidence the whole time. Like the basis for me was just never wear a mask, because I know I'm not going to be hurting anybody, and they can just deal with it. And then that's when I found like Peggy Hall and these other people who were, backing up their the whole idea of not wearing a mask just to go shopping, to be normal, to be, just a regular human being, not harming anybody. And people like Authentic Intent, like he really inspired me, and his passion behind his stance of never wearing a mask. Um, that really helped to inspire me to stay strong with you know not cucking to the mask. And so I haven't worn a mask once into a store this whole time.
That is awesome.
Now, I have a question for you. Have you had to do anything like renew a driver's license or, something on that aspect where you're walking into a legal, getting license plates or that where you need something, you need a piece of paper and it's that type of have you taken on that type of venue yet, or you have not had to do that? Because that's where I tend to run into the problems at, or a dispensary in Colorado where they'll get shut down if they let people without masks in. So on something like that to keep them open, I would walk in. But those were like the only places I've had like a problem or a question on. Other
Um,
places I have no problem with.
What you're saying is that you're cucked. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying on those ones. Well, because okay, like for instance, if you go into a dispensary or if you're in there and you take your mask off on film, the police will come and shut down the dispensary and issue them a fine. I don't feel that's helping anyone or doing the business from it. So that might be a cuck, or the cuck on the, I don't want my driver's license to expire or to get a ticket. Yeah, that was definitely a complete full on cuck. But I was wondering how other people were handling that situation the ones that I've cucked to.
I'm just joking, Cammy. It's not easy.
It's sad
for
but
anyone
true.
out there.
It's sad but true. I wish I
But
was
it's
better.
not easy either. It's not
yeah,
easy.
no, that,
I would see one of those. If you don't need to get your license renewed, or you don't need to go to the council or whatever, then go to the council now and have that argument now. When you can walk away, and I don't know, says he who doesn't set foot out of his house. So I'll shut up now.
yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, you really have to pick your battles. But for me, I'm trying to take it as far as I can, without getting locked up. But yeah, it's funny you bring up the driver's license thing. Mine actually expires in June, so I've already started thinking about that, and it looks like the DMV is by appointment only. So they're backed up for like the next 3 months. So I actually scheduled an appointment for I think it was like the end of March or sometime in March. So that's something that I'm gonna have to figure out how it's going to go. I'm planning on just going and trying to assert myself as best as I can. And, you know, if it doesn't work out and they decline, then, you know, I'll have to figure out what to do after that. But at least
Yeah.
then we'll have time to figure out